Robot Zombie Frankenstein by Annette Simon. Robot, 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 robot zombie, robot zombie Frankenstein, robot zombie Frankenstein pirate, robot zombie Frankenstein pirate superhero, robot zombie Frankenstein pirate superhero in disguise, robot zombie Frankenstein pirate superhero in disguise outer space invader. Where'd they go? Robot zombie Frankenstein pirate superhero in disguise outer space invader chef. With pie. With fork. Robot buddies. Affirmative. I hope you enjoyed this story. I really enjoy how the artist just used basic shapes to design her two robot characters, and then she kept adding to the costumes that the robots were wearing by just adding more basic shapes. In the beginning and the end of the story, she shows the basic rectangles, triangles, and circles that she combined to create her robot characters. We are going to do a project similar to her illustration style. We're going to design a robot using rectangles and circles and triangles and squares, and then we're going to put a Halloween costume on our robot. These robot characters look a lot like people. They're kind of modeled after what people look like. So they have a main rectangle for the body and a slightly smaller shape for the head. This one obviously has an oval head. This one has a square head. There are some shapes that go where ears would go on a person. They have faces that resemble what a person's face would look like. They have two arms only, like a person would have. And this one doesn't have two legs. He's kind of got one leg that he probably either hops around on or wheels around on, and this one has two legs. So this guy looks a little bit more like a person, even though he has a square head. This one is sort of missing the legs, but you can still tell that they're modeled after people. So what I'm asking you to do is create a robot with some basic shapes. So I'm going to have a boxy body for my robot. I will draw with markers and color in with crayons. Don't forget that the second part of this assignment is to put a Halloween costume on your robot. So while you're putting in these shapes, think about what the colors could be, or think carefully about how the colors are going to influence what the robot costume is going to be. I'm going to switch over to a different color. I haven't decided on a costume yet. I'm kind of going to think about it as I go. I think I want to have him have some longer legs that are not stiff and straight. I think I'm going to have them curve a little bit. And finish that shape. So remember, a shape is different from a line because you can color inside of a shape. So don't leave it open. And since his legs are kind of bent like that, he looks like he could be jumping or dancing or moving somehow. That's kind of giving me ideas about what costume my robot could wear. Gonna put some shoes on him, give him some arms. I like the idea that I had about a dancing robot. So I think I'm going to make that as a Halloween costume for him. Some kind of dancer. Okay, and then you can have any kind of shape you want for a head. In the story, one robot had a square head, the other robot had a oval head. I think I might make a triangle head. Kind of looks like a crayon. That's okay. I love crayons. And one last detail, no, two last details I need to add. One is a face. I'm gonna put his mouth here. And then add some hands. My robot's only gonna have 3 fingers. And the costume I'm going to put him in, I'm gonna make him a dancer. So I think I'm gonna put him in a pink tutu and make him be a ballerina. So I know tutus kind of, they're kind of poofy. They're made of tulle. So I'm going to kind of make a shape that looks like it could be like a tutu. Then my last step is to color it in. You can add more details if you want to. So some robots might be made of metal. You could add some gray, kind of make it look like his arms are made of like a hose or some kind of, I don't know, robot arm material. I'm gonna do the same with his legs. This is just another detail that will make your drawing look a little bit more like you're trying to make a robot. You can also add some things like nuts and bolts, the things that your robot is built out of. So I might add a couple of bolts on his neck, and maybe there's a compartment on his body that opens up. He can repair himself if he needs to. So you can add a couple of those details on there also. And then your last step will be to fill it in with color. When we get together for our next meeting, we will have a show and tell where you can show the robot you made and tell your classmates what costume your robot has. And one question that some parents and some students have been wondering is, how come some weeks we do a drawing during the meeting? Like last week we made an owl together, and then some weeks we draw on our own and do a show and tell during class. Well, it depends on if I'm directing the drawing and we're all doing the exact same thing, then it's going to be something that we do during our meeting time. So for example, the owl, we were all drawing the exact same owl, so I just did that all at once during our meeting. And if it's something that all the students are going to have a different drawing, and it requires us to show and tell about it, then that's something that we will draw at home on our own and then do a show and tell during our meeting time. So like this one, we're all going to have different costumes and different robot designs. Your drawing does not have to look exactly like mine. I hope that you will use your creative imagination and come up with your own. So that's why some weeks we will draw at home on our own and do show and tell for our meeting. And then some weeks we will get together online with a box of crayons and draw together as a class.